Hello there, Battle Brothers, and welcome to yet another video, and welcome to yet another Warhammer 40,000 video, and then some, because this video is not only concerned with Warhammer 40k miniatures, but also other minis and action figures, but it's mostly Warhammer. So if you've been following my channel for quite some time, you know that I have set up a challenge for myself quite recently. I've been into Warhammer for about a year now. But I was postponing it, shortly said, long story short, I have been a lifelong fantasy and science fiction fan, but I was postponing getting into Warhammer for one reason or another, and then a year ago finally got into it. I read the Eisenhorn Omnibus, and then it was like an avalanche, right? I read over 40 novels at this point. I am getting into old codexes and White Dwarf magazines. I've started collecting Joy Toy action figures. I've started painting miniatures. I've gone like the full way in a year. And I had never painted before. I touched my first Space Marine miniature a month ago, actually. I checked out the first photo that I took of the primed Ultramarine that I tried my hand on. It was about a month ago. So I got the introductory set of Warhammer 40,000, and I went like, alright, so I can destroy all these. I'm just going to learn how to paint on these miniatures, and for whatever it takes, whatever time it takes, I'm not going to be angry with myself if I am shitty, because everybody has to learn, and the learning process sometimes can take years, right? So I decided that I would set a challenge for myself, that in a year I would try to paint a Lionel Johnson miniature that I've got still in the package. And this is the first month, so I would like to just record and report my progress. So the first miniature I tried to paint was the simplest thing of all. Like, step by step, as Games Workshop described it in their YouTube video and in the introductory set. Just painting an Infernus Space Marine of the Ultramarines chapter. Didn't apply any transfers as far as the sigil goes, because I don't have any. And I didn't want to try my hand on freehand painting the sigil, if you understand me. So this miniature isn't, or it doesn't contain the sigil yet, but there it is. I will be adding pictures as I speak. So it was my first mini painted. You judge it. I'm not going to say if it's good or bad. You judge it if you see this video. Then the second and the third miniatures that I painted was another Astartes. This time I wanted to do the Blood Angels color scheme, once again with no sigils, and a Tyrannid. And then there was another Blood Angel, but I wanted to do it in a kind of an old school way. I got inspired by the old heavy metal style, and I wanted to do a little bit of a combination of the old heavy metal style. Of course, I had to Google, and I have got like PDFs of the old White Dwarfs. And but not completely, like a combination of the old heavy metal style and the new, like, modern kind of style painting. So this was the result. I kind of effed up this miniature. Was it that one or the other one? Because I then wanted to try a matte varnish, and I think it was by an accident, because I wanted to get a satin varnish by Army Painters, so I ordered it, and I think that they sent me the wrong one, because they actually sent me an anti-shine matte varnish, and then I checked my order, and I really ordered the anti-matte, so it was my mistake. And it looks a little bit too matte for me, so I need to go and get myself a gloss varnish so I can get over it again. Never mind. You learn as you go, right? And you learn by making mistakes. Then I wanted to try something different. And you can see that behind me, I'm a tremendous, huge Mythic Legions fan. A collector of action figures, fantasy action figures. And I had a head sculpt, an extra head sculpt of an action figure called Arizak, a dark wizard, that I tried to make into the Black Wolf from the movie Wizards, like a year ago or 2 years ago, maybe even longer than that. And so that was actually my first attempt at painting, but it wasn't very, very successful. I just primed it gray and I painted the eyes, full stop. And I left it like that. And the result was not very good. And over time, the head started, I think that the primer started kind of being liquid again. So I said to myself, yeah, I'm gonna fix you. So I cleaned it up and I painted some Mephiston red over it, and I painted the beard Abaddon black, and then I dry brushed a little, the Mechanicum standard grey over it, and I painted the eyes yellow. I don't remember which yellow, but it was a Citadel yellow. Can't remember which one. And so this is the result, and I put it on a body of a retailer version of Four Horsemen Toy Designs Mask of the Red Death, and I think the result is good. And that's when actually the primer that I got, not the primer, the varnish, the anti-shine varnish, really was useful for me, because the paint when I finished was too shiny, and I was like, I don't like it. I'm going to put some matte varnish on it, and it made the miniature or the head sculpt look awesome. So this is the result. There was a little bit of intermezzo. And then I said to myself, all right, it's time to try my hand on my favorite chapter. Let's paint a Space Wolf. So I did. I used a combination of the rust gray and Fedrisian gray and the rest, the reds and the yellows and the browns and things like that. And I used some contrast paint for the base, and then I used like the artificial snow by Citadel for the base. It's called like Valhallan Blizzard or something like that. So this is my Space Wolf. I kind of like it. And then I said, then I realized I've got a whole lot more Tyrannids to paint. I got like 11 or 12 Tyrannids to paint, and I was like, yeah, I think that by the end I'm going to get sick of Tyrannids. So I tried my hand at something crazy. I said to myself, all right, let's pick two, like some crazy contrast paints, two of them, and I just paint this Tyrannid a crazy way. So I did this. Looks very colorful. And then I got a D&D Eidolon miniature, the possessed statue. So I checked out the original art that the mini was based on, and I tried to replicate it a little bit. That's the result. It's like it or not, let me know. I kind of like it. And then finally, and that would be all for now. As of 1 month of me painting is a Black Templar that I wanted to do. Just primed it Abaddon black, 3 thin layers of Abaddon black. I painted the pauldrons white, Corax white, I think. And let me tell you, painting white over black is so difficult. I didn't like it at first. At first, I thought I didn't thin the paint enough because it looked blotchy, and I hate that. Like when I see somebody paint, beginning and painting blotchy colors because they don't thin their paints enough. It just looks like, ugh, I hate that, and I'm a beginner. But somehow I managed, and that was when I tried to paint the sigil by hand, because I said to myself, yes, it will still be difficult, but it won't be as difficult as, for example, trying to paint a Space Wolf sigil, right? So I tried a little bit. It looks kind of crooked, but that was to be expected. And then I said to myself, so what am I going to do? One thing that I hate so far, because I haven't learned it properly yet. When I learn it, I'm going to love it. Edge highlighting. I'm not there yet. I need to practice more and more and more. It's as simple as that. I've only been painting for a month. So I said to myself, oh, bugger it. I'm just going to dry brush some Mechanicum Standard Grey over it and make it like dirty. And that's the result. So I kind of cheated this time because I didn't feel like edge highlighting too much. So that's what I did. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I've got a long road in front of me. And let me know, my dear friends. Do you paint? What do you like to paint? Do you paint Warhammer? What's your favorite chapter? Do you paint something else? As you can see, or could see, I paint all kinds of things. And I've only been painting for a month. What about you? Veterans who have been painting for years. You must be laughing at me right now. But do so. Do so. Criticize. I'm looking forward to your critique because you learn through that as well. Be brutal, be honest. And thank you. And that'll be all. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, the Emperor protects.